welcome to the channel, welcome back. If you've been here before, I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. This is Your Questions Answered, a weekly series where I share deeper, personalised tarot readings based on the thoughtful questions submitted by this beautiful community, the Seer Circle. And even if you haven't submitted a question this week, you might find that someone else's reading mirrors a situation you're going through. And if a message does resonate with you, trust that it's meant for you. Spirit has a way of guiding us exactly where we need to be. And if you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing if you haven't already, liking this video and leaving a comment. It really helps support the channel and lets me know that these readings are reaching those who need them. For those that did submit a question, timestamps are in the description so you can jump straight to your message. And if you'd like to be featured in next week's video, you'll find the submission link down below as well. And please remember, the more detail you provide, the more insightful your reading can be. But thank you so much for being here, and let's see what Spirit wants to share today. Love and light. Hey Kuntry, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question about an exciting new business venture, and you want to have a look if this will be successful, the energy surrounding this, or if you can anticipate any obstacles that might be ahead. And you say, I'm not looking to create a money pit. Exactly. So let's see what Spirit has to say. I'm using the Medicine Woman Tarot deck today. If anyone is interested, I will pop it in the description box below as well. This was actually one of the first tarot decks that I learned the tarot with as a child. So let's see what Spirit has to say, Kuntry. We'll first dive into just the overall energy that this business venture, what's the energy surrounding it. We've got a major arcana, and this is actually the major arcana, Justice. And with this card, it's interesting. The main message here is about balance. And there's something here about venturing out on your own, which this business, I think, can signify. Like there's something very independent about it, something that you are carving out just purely on your own as well. And there's this balance of almost, this is the outside world and the busyness and the fullness of that and relationships, which I think that you do have in your life. But there's also this need to, that you have this kind of free spirit energy, Kuntry, okay? And about maybe you'll enjoy your own company as well. This is something that maybe you've always been like that, or you've learned over time, that stage in your life where you're comfortable in your own skin. And there's some connection to that in this business about striking out on your own and that trust that you've built in yourself and that aligning, that's going to help you stay balanced. And there's some kind of going to be justice for you from this business venture as well, in the sense of what you put in, you will get out, okay? Because, you know, if we're working for someone else, or if we have a lot of integrity and we're giving our energy, but we're ultimately at the end of the day kind of working for someone else. And there's nothing quite as rewarding or fulfilling. You have to be a certain kind of person, obviously have that entrepreneurial spirit, because there are a lot of stresses that do come with, and pressures that come with striking out on your own. But there's so much freedom, and that work and energy and effort that you put in comes directly back to you. But let's dig into this a bit more. Any obstacles, Spirit, that jump out around this business venture? Two of Stones. So this is saying the traditional deck, this is Pentacles. And this really depicts this person here, okay, is sifting for gold. I always think in this card, that's always what I see. Now the sun is shining, the trees are green, okay, they're at a pool of water, so there's something very nurturing all about that, okay. But it does have that energy. So the question was about obstacles, that there is about that element, if you can tap into that sort of understanding, that feeling of sifting for gold, like looking for the hot spots in a way of what from this business where you would have success. Like some things obviously won't work, some things will, and it's kind of that process of elimination. So some of it you'll be sifting for gold, and some of it might come up, oh, that's just dirt, or it's fool's gold, you know, like you think you're onto something good, but and then it turns out to be kind of a red herring, something not as fortuitous. But then there are nuggets of gold to be found, which is directly touching on finances for you, okay? So with effort, with persistence, much like anything in some ways of like that process of elimination and consistency and effort, there are nuggets of gold to be found in this country. So you're doing it, you know, for extra income. So again, this is kind of giving us the green light that it can happen. I suppose the question to ask yourself, do you have the time and energy? I don't know what other responsibilities that you have outside of this. You know, is it going to be too taxing if you've got a full-time job, you know, as well? Is this like a side hustle on top of that? So just ask yourself that, if you have the time and energy to sift for gold. But there is gold out there. Anything else, Spirit? Final messages for Kuntry around this business, please. Feel like you've got the creativity, the brains, everything like behind that to make it work. So it's just to ask yourself if it practically have you got that time and space. Anything else, Spirit? More stones, so pentacles, money. This is, so snakes often represent creativity, particularly in, you know, a career reading. Snakes would represent creativity and flexibility as well, and we're actually in the year of the snake, so this is interesting. So it could be an auspicious time as well. So we've got snake, the crawlers. Maybe you're sensing that, maybe you've been thinking about this for a while, or you've had some kind of some inspiration come through to you now, because like I say, we are in the year of the snake. So I would take that alongside this message as a green light again, that the timing is right. And this is from your knowledge, from your wisdom, from the depth of, in a way, like who you are as a person. No, this is kind of going on to a deeper level. And this is the shoots beginning to make it above ground, okay? This is your, what I would say is your grit and determination, because it looks quite gnarly, doesn't it, with all those stones and like deep in the earth. And from that grit, Kuntry, kind of what you've been through in your life and determination, and maybe what's born this entrepreneurial spirit as well, then, you know, this business and more, you know, but going in that direction of striking out on your own, shoots and new ideas and new inspiration come from this. So again, this is encouraging. And Toma's stones is, you know, further up obviously in the stones suit, suggesting that this again could be fortuitous, and and financially fortuitous, because I know that was a big part of the focus. So, and also ending on that note of, you know, it will take determination, it will take time and effort. Have you got that? And also the creativity, which I think, which came up before, actually I turned this card, this sort of channel message of your creativity and intelligence, knowing how to do it, knowing how to work this business, okay? And it will take creativity and it will take flexibility. So bear all those things in mind, but there does look to be something that will come from this. So, Kuntry, I hope that resonated for you. Please let me know if it did, how it did. Give me a thumbs up. But thank you so much for your question, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hey Anne, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. I really appreciate once again the detail. So let's get into it. I know that you're in, obviously for viewers watching, that you're in a love dynamic, love connection that's you've decided to, for reasons to keep your peace, to at the moment to walk away from and gently open your heart to new love, which feels really healthy, feels like a really positive step. So let's have a look and see what Spirit has to say. So the first question that you lead with is, what healing or shift is taking place within me now that I've walked away from this connection? Seven of Stones. So this in the traditional deck would be Pentacles. And I love this card because it has these images are very gentle, very soulful energy to them, these cards. And we see someone who is almost, you know, it does look like that they're protecting their peace, that they have what they need, their basket of what nurtures them, okay, is that they've got supplies, food, water, you know, they've got their basket of goods of what they need. And they're walking towards this shelter where they can nurture themselves again. And the 7, we must remember in all the decks, is about a period of assessment and a period of reflection. It's really at that point on the journey, I will see a 7, of where we need to pause, which is exactly what you're doing in many ways. You've kind of brought your energy back to yourself, and you're taking a pause, and then we can look back to reflect, not getting stuck in the past, but we need to sometimes, in order to move forward, know how we want to move forward. We need to look back and see what worked, what didn't, the other person's part in this dynamic, and understanding that, and from separating ourselves from that, we can often get a clearer perspective, and also get a clearer perspective about what happened for us, you know. So I feel like in this separation, you're going to get some clarity. And this person is walking, yeah, and this is the walking forward. So there is still, even though you have pressed pause on this connection, your energy on your path is still moving forward. And you haven't let this person's indecision, essentially, and mixed up energy stop you. Because this is a gateway as well, like it's also that we're walking to somewhere where we can rest and reflect. But I also see this as kind of a transitional period of a gateway, and that when you're on the other side of it, the knowledge that you will have gained by pressing pause, like I say, will bring you clarity, and then you may find that you are clearer about what you want. that you have insight into this connection that you didn't have before because you were in it. Yeah, there's something about being in it that we can get lost in the energies, lost in the other person's energy and lose clarity. So that feels really positive. That feels like we're still making progress. You're still moving in the right direction. Second part of the question, Anne. How might Spirit guide him? So you're the person in this connection. How might Spirit guide him now that you've let go? And what might it mean for our connection, if anything? So what will this do to him and this connection, Spirit? This pause, what impact will it have on him? Three of Bowls. So bowls is like cups in the traditional deck. This is your energy, this is his energy, and this is an offering. So it will bring forth an offering from him. Can you see how you're in your spiritual energy as well? That I feel like that you've took a step towards your higher self, what's best for your higher self. Maybe you're feeling that energy, that you've kind of made a wise decision to do this and did what was best for you and protecting your peace. But this is them stepping up from whatever's been going on here that's been busying them or distracting them or where their head's been at, okay? I'm not sure who these energies are around them. Family maybe, friends, colleagues of theirs. But it will get them to rise up. Can you see how they've took what's in their basket, what they have to offer, and they will stand up and make an offering to you. So watch this space to see what they do come forward with. I'm going to pull one more card about this and then we'll go to your final question. One more card, please, Spirit, on this placement. Interesting. Apprentice of Bowls. I think this is his connection. You know, I understand he's a very spiritual person. And I think this is them receiving more messages from Spirit and maybe different messages from what we've seen. I know that they've interpreted, I would say maybe misinterpreted messages from Spirit when actually it's been their own fears and insecurities that have risen up. And it takes a lot of discernment within ourselves and personal growth and being quite brutal with ourselves at times in a way to be honest and say, you know, this is my ego, or this is a kind of more base energy happening here. Yeah. But this feels like a more genuine step for them towards being able to hear messages from their higher self, from Spirit, or whatever you would like to call it. Because it's almost like because you've taken steps towards being in your higher self, and that this has encouraged them to be more tuned in, tapped into their higher self. Because look at this is their higher self channeling messages down to them, going through them, and then into this bowl, which again is sort of that offering to you. So this is really interesting, and I think a positive switch. Final question, final placement. What energies or qualities should you embrace now to welcome the love that is meant for me? Lovely question. So ultimately that's the goal, is to bring through the love that is meant for you. and that you're deserving of. So let's see what energies or qualities that you need to embrace to welcome that in. Great question. Six of Arrows. Surrender here. Can we see how you don't know the path that is ahead? But this almost looks like look how fast this energy is moving. There is a gateway, which we've kind of seen here as well. This is coming back round. We're stepping through a gateway. This is stuff that didn't work out in love, in romance, okay? The past, the broken arrows, the heartache, the disappointments, the shots fired that didn't land. Leaving that behind, kind of allowing that just to be. We really don't know what's coming next. You are kind of blinded by the future. We have only our intuition to go on at this point. But when we step into this next phase, which is coming for you, Anne, then it feels like it will carry you to where you need to be, to this next love that is meant for you. And you are taking, really has kind of full energy to it, this card. You are taking a leap of faith. So what do you need to embrace is surrendering to the next chapter, whatever that may entail. And also Six of Arrows is, if we think of it in the traditional deck, that is Six of Wands. That is a card of victory. So you are on a path to victory, which I think is obviously very encouraging to say that you are on the right path. You are already going in the right direction. So not in a way surrendering, giving it to God, letting go of control as much as we can, releasing the past. All these things which are easy to say but hard to put into practice for most of us on the daily, okay? But if we can stay in that energy as much as possible, then things will move fast as we transition into this next chapter. So maybe at this point, try not to get hung up on who it needs to be as much as possible. It may be this person coming back with this offering. It may be someone new. Anything else with what Anne needs to do, please, Spirit? Other than surrender. Oh, look at that. It's just a beautiful, hopeful card, Four of Pipes, of look, someone who is building a life with you. Look, you're building a solid structure. Yeah. And we're letting a place where Spirit is as well, like this light that is pouring in. But we're teamwork here. The energy is very balanced. This is saying that it is on its way to you. This is the goal. So embody that as well, you know, hold on to the what it is that you want and that feeling. I know that you use manifestation, I believe, as well. So kind of embodying that energy of this scenario, like this is the goal, this is where we're going, this is the love that we want. That's a lovely image. And how we get there is surrendering as much as we can to the process and releasing the past and trying to get comfortable with the unknown as well. That's tricky, but when we don't know who it is or we don't know what's coming, but still holding that image and that energy and just trying to believe in that as much as possible. So that was your reading, Anne. I hope it resonated for you. Please do give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if it resonated, how it resonated. But thank you so much for submitting your question, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hello Samreen, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. So we're looking at a love connection here. And you ask, what is the current energetic connection between your ex and you? And you said, which is so interesting, that you ended up mirroring his detachment unconsciously. And what does that reveal about our soul bond right now? So that's interesting. So I'll pull the first card of what is the current energy between this connection. And then we'll take it from there and dig into that detachment that you felt. So Spirit, please tell us about the current... Oh, there we go. Oh, Major Arcana, Emperor. This is always brings through the quote, like of... it's like when we're having to really stay centered and command, here the word is command our emotions. We're sat in front of this kind of shaman person, is sat in front of a fire that is burning. And this is the Emperor card, which is also about control and about being, it's the boss energy of the tarot deck. And I feel like this is about the energy, so this is the energy between this connection. Is just like having to sit in those feelings and not be reactive and not be ruled by our emotions, okay? So this feels like it can be going on from your side, but from their side, you know, it's the energy of the connection. And it's almost like that it could sort of burn you up if you don't command it. Like if this shaman here was not watching this fire carefully, yeah, and kind of commanding this fire, keeping it contained, that's the word, then it could get out of control. It could spin out, okay? And this is the background here of like people just kind of getting on with their lives, and maybe what you see on the surface, that they're just getting on with their lives, you're having to just, you know, go about your day-to-day business and get stuff done, as we all do. But inside there's this kind of fire that's always burning, which is this connection. And at the minute we need to contain it. I feel like that's the message. So don't let it burn you up, and that may go for both of you, yeah? Let's dig into this though, because I know that you, interestingly, felt this detachment though, which kind of flies in the face of that. Or maybe it could be that that's you commanding the fire, commanding the depth and emotions and fiery energy of this connection. Maybe that's what that detachment is about, that you were actually able to embody this Emperor energy and command the spirit of this connection. What Spirit, tell us about this detachment that Samreen felt. Yeah, so Seven of Stones is that there's a kind of determination here with the Seven of Stones of this is you who is maybe getting to that point where you were moving in the right direction with this card, the Seven of Stones, okay? It's a very kind of grounded energy. It's a practical energy. It would reflect that kind of vibe of being able to control this wildfire, yeah? And the Seven of Stones is also a period of reflection. So maybe that spirit as well telling you that we're still, now is not the right time for action. Now is the time for reflection still, and for learning about the past. That's what the Seven of Stones is often about. It's about this person is kind of going to a safe space in this shelter, yeah? They have their food, their goods, their nourishment of what's going to look after them, yeah? So always make sure that you've got that covered, that we're not giving so much that we're draining our resources. Let's make sure that we've got what we need, on our needs met first. It's like when they say if you're on an aeroplane and you know you should give yourself the oxygen first, save yourself so that you can help others even, you know. So there's something here, Samreen, about making sure that you are nurturing yourself first. Maybe that's where this detachment came about, and that you were able to it allowed you to do that because it gave you some distance, it gave you some separation. And what I would say is use this time, that period of detachment, of being able to reflect and being able to look back to the past without getting lost in the past, but look to the past to learn from it and gain clarity about how this is going to inform your decisions moving forward, yeah? But it's not saying, what I would say is it's not saying that this connection is over because of this card as well. So maybe you felt like, oh, that detachment means that this connection is over and done. Where because this has come through, there's still a lot in this dynamic that, you know, there's a lot of energy here still. There's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of emotions. Let's see what the future will bring, yeah? Why not? What's the future bring of this connection, please, Spirit? Lovely. Eight of Pipes. You will feel stronger. You will feel like this is a female here who's in her warrior energy. Okay, and the Eight of Pipes is similar to the Eight of Wands. Okay, it's like fast moving energy. So there'll be a shift here, I think, from having this, maybe this new feelings of detachment, being able to get on top and control the emotions and the passions of this dynamic, putting that on pause about not being reactive and being reflective. And then once we re-emerge from that, okay, because we can't stay in this forever, this just sort of holding phase, a holding pen, then there will be time, okay, for you to get back out there, either get back out there in this connection and come forward as this bold, confident person who is done a lot of work and has a different perspective, or you somehow just that kind of being out in the world in a confident way. And what ultimately, if you keep putting out that energy, okay, if you keep holding that frequency, then something will come back from that, something positive, because you're protecting your peace as well. This is people, sort of negative energies trying to get in, attack you, but you're protected. And this is from taking this pause, taking this moment, getting some emotional detachment, holding, you know, commanding this fire. And then look, this person has their shelter, they have their food, they have their shield, they have their wand here. They've got everything they need. The sky is blue, okay? It's like you've put yourself first and something good will come back from that. And that's what the future will bring. So it might be frustrating where you find yourself now. It might feel a bit oppressive, but know that something good is coming from that, and you will re-emerge back out into the space and the world with a very strong positive frequency, which may resonate with your ex, or it may resonate with a new connection. Whatever it is, something good will come back from this, okay? So that was your reading, Samreen. I hope it resonated. Please let me know in the comments if it did, how it did, and please drop me a like as well. But thank you so much for submitting your question, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hey Chanley, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. I appreciate it. And this is a love connection that we're looking at today. And you're wondering what spirit what you need to know about them, okay? I understand this is a long distance connection. And there's something to you about him that seems secretive, yeah? And if you want to know if he's hiding something from this connection that you're not aware of. So let's dig into his energy and see what comes through, okay? So the first card, I'm just going to get an overall energy read on your person. And anything that you need to know about him, yeah? Five of Pipes. This is you with your beautiful energy. Almost like a siren call here. And this is their energy, which is interesting, which is a hesitant energy, yeah? Like a fearful, shy deer coming out from the woods who has to be coaxed and has to be, not spooked as well as this. I feel like you know this. I know that you've said that they have past trauma that they're still healing from. And also what comes through is that even though it might not feel like, maybe you having some doubts obviously about this connection, but I feel like that you've actually managed to bring out something from them and in them more than what you might realize, and be surprised really about maybe in, other connections that they have with people, that they are much less open and much less communicative of what they've said to you, yeah? Even though, because often if we've done a lot of inner work and that we're quite open, and maybe just your energy, I know that you're a fire sign, so we're more expressive and outgoing and find it easier in a way to share our feelings. It doesn't mean it's any less of a risk for us to do that for those people who are like that. But it's always surprising sometimes when you come across someone who is really not used to living their lives this way and talking this way. So there's a real fear here, there's a shyness here, there's a tendency for them to be spooked. I'm going to dig into it further, but initially, first off, it doesn't feel negative in its secretiveness, if that makes sense, okay? In its hiding. It's like that they're hiding their feelings, they're hiding that it's from a place of fear. But tell us more, Spirit. Oh, there we go. Cards are ready. Yeah. The Tower moment. Look at that pain, that pierced shield, or the Tower. A moment of when everything fell apart for them, Chanley, okay? They were wounded, you're right, to their very core. So if you think, we can see all the layers here, the sort of the spiritual side here with this kind of golden bird with their wings a span, that they have that layer. Then they have the next layer, which is this very defensive eagle who is like very almost Anger's the wrong word, but fiercely protective, yeah? Fueled by this kind of fire and this, I suppose, some anger and hurt, yeah? And then at the very centre, we have this really tender tortoise and what looks to be like a lotus flower, yeah? So, yeah, what this confirms to me, though, you know, these cards are very spiritual and soulful, but this person has, at some point in their past, like I said, don't know how much that they've shared with you, where their whole lives fell apart, I feel like. They went through a terrible tower moment, a kind of brutal tower moment. And something is still broken inside of them, and they are still healing. And they are still rebuilding. Now, the Tower card, of course, ultimately, however brutal it is, because it can be brutal, it actually does clear out what is no longer meant for us. But to actually live that and to go through that, you know, it can feel like we lose everything. And then we start from scratch. So you are dead on with this, channeling, that they are still dealing with this. So where does this leave you, yeah? Where does this leave the connection, Spirit? Where does this leave the connection, Spirit? Where does this leave channeling? This is you too. I quite like that energy. Seven of Pipes. This is like a charged connection in many ways, and you can see how you have lots in common. There's a lot of mirroring going on here. You're probably how you find yourself in most of your connections, Chanley, just because of your energetic signature. You're kind of leading the way. If you're comfortable with that, you know, happy with that, then that's okay. We obviously need to check in that we're getting enough back from this, but this energy feels good here between you. Now at the minute we are both hiding a little bit, so maybe you're doing that in some respects as well, because they're holding back. You're both wearing masks, which is interesting to me. So you're both we all wear masks, okay? Like we all have a front and a racket of what we present to the universe, to the world. And maybe that will slowly, over time, and through getting closer, we can let our mask slip, okay? But there is a real energy in this connection. It feels charged, if that makes sense. This connection, so there's energy in it. It's still active. It's not, there's still life in it, and there's still stuff to be exchanged and stuff to be learned. There again, further in the background, like needing that to be coaxed forward, to be know that it's safe, for them to be themselves. And you know, you do as well. We need to remember your needs in this connection. But I think Spirit has been pretty clear throughout all these cards that it's the fear, it's the pain from the past, and it's not coming from a malicious place or from a trickster energy. It's coming from a very kind of oppressed, fearful place where they kind of need to be coaxed out of themselves. If you want to be that person, that's up to you. If you feel happy to be that person, to play those pipes, to call them out, that's obviously up to you and how much that you're getting out of this. But yeah, there is energy here in that, and there is a lot of there's something very similar about you, even though on the surface you may be very different, like you're outgoing, they're introverted, something like that. But there is a soul connection here for sure that I still see and feel. That was your reading, Chanley. I hope it resonated for you. Please let me know if it did, how it did, and drop me a like. But thank you so much for bringing your question today, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hi, hello, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. And your question today is, what is the most important lesson my soul is currently trying to learn? So interesting. And how can I best embrace the learning process? So let's break this down. So the first half of this question is, what is the most important lesson that your soul is currently trying to learn? So Spirit, please tell us for hello, what's their soul lesson currently? Three of Bowls. What we see in the picture here first up, okay, is this is your higher self. And this is the person that, the part of us even within ourselves that, you know, has the answers and has the knowledge, like knows what's best for us in a way, and knows our divine path. And this is you, so it doesn't matter about gender, obviously with how it shows up in these cards, is that you are making an offering to your higher self. So this tells me that what your soul is currently trying to learn, I'll dig into this more, but it's essentially that you're strengthening the bond between your higher self and your earth plane self, okay? The person that moves about in our day-to-day and is more ego-based. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with ego as well. We do need ego, like it often gets a bad rap. But our 3D self, you know, like we need that. But we make life easier for ourselves if we can open up the channel to our higher self. And that's what I think is happening for you at the moment. Hello, okay? You kind of have got this 3D stuff. I feel like you've got something quite good going here with the 3D, like maybe that you kind of move through the world, the material world, with some confidence and a sense of ease. Like I feel like you're quite worldly wise and savvy. So you've maybe worked on that, maybe you've made some achievements, and that's kind of okay. That's like its own wheel that's just spinning, that has momentum. So what we can do is we are stepping away from that in some ways, and our focus, your focus, is to connect with your higher self. And what does that feel like? You know, are you able to tap into, is it heard as a voice? Do you get images? Like sometimes people will name their higher self. I know one time I did a live stream and someone was wanting to connect with their higher self, and kind of naming it and giving it an image was very useful to them. And they used the image of, I think it was it was Wonder Woman. And that was to imagine their higher self as that Wonder Woman, you know, with that element of fun as well, but that power. And that resonated for them. So that may be something that you already have, or something worth looking into. But that's what's going on for you now. So how can you best embrace this learning process? So any help in how we connect to our higher selves? So daily practice really, and like those things that I mentioned, giving it a name, giving it an image, checking in every day. Let's see what Spirit actually says of how best you can embrace this learning process. Two of Pipes. staying as aligned as possible. I always see this card like this is like the mystical smoke, spiritual smoke, which kind of represents tapping into, again, our higher self, like this white dove here, this white bird being symbolic. Opening that channel, okay? And staying aligned. So that is just through discipline, really, through meditation, through, you know, if you would practice yoga, whatever it is that you do, hello, to tap into that higher self voice, to do that in a very focused, very intentional, very disciplined way. And to sit down every day, say like this woman depicted here, and set your intention and just try to listen and hear that voice. And then as a final message, what will this bring in a way? I mean, we know that tapping into our higher self and listening to our higher self in a way makes our lives easier, because we've sort of surrendered to the process and we're able to sort of zoom out from our lives and view things more objectively in a way, if we're more tapped into our higher self. But let's see what specifically this can bring for you, hello, through learning this lesson. Oh, look at that. Harvest Lodge of Stones. It will bring a harvest. So much abundance. So this could even be financial abundance. Like, you know, we can listen to our higher selves, allows us to, you know, we, in our work, in our, you know, if we, whatever our manifestations that we're working on, whatever our goals are, financial, love, whatever it is, the more that you can tap into your higher self and surrender to that, the quicker the road is to reach, to gather this harvest of lodge. Sorry, this harvest lodge of stones, which is just like a wonderfully abundant card. So you can maybe move it into an abundant mindset, being able to hold that kind of energy and release lack, release scarcity, you know, that scarcity mindset, and really step into an abundant mindset where you feel rich and full in all aspects of your life. But this is like a reward, yeah, to in a way, like the hard work that it does actually take to listen to your higher self. Can't speak. And what's that goal? Yeah, what would be Harvest Lodge of the Stones for you? Hello, at the moment, that's kind of like the end of the rainbow, you know, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's what this feels like. So what wonderful energy to end on there. So much will come. It's almost like what will come from this, from tapping into your higher self, everything, you know, anything you ever wanted. So I hope that resonated for you. Hello, please let me know if it did, how it did in the comments, and give me a thumbs up. It really does help support the channel. But thank you for your question, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care. Hey Sarah, thank you so much for your question and welcome to your reading. So this is a love connection reading and we're looking at your Scorpio. And your first part of your question is, what's the connection going to be like in the near future with this Scorpio? Okay, understand you like him. He's in another connection at the minute. You are manifesting. And we also want to know, is he locked into that forever, or is there a chance in the future? So let's have a look at all of that. First part, what's the future, the near future in this connection? Ten of Arrows. There is a connection here. You see, I'm drawn to this. I wonder if you feel this, because often when I see this card, this is almost like a a spiritual family connection, like this could be a past life connection, and that's why you feel this kind of strong bond with them. With it being a 10 as well, this is like a transitional phase, so there will be a change in this connection, because 10 of arrows is, so when we get to the 10, it's somewhat of a completion in many ways. So there will be a shift in how the connection has been up until this point, because what comes after the 10 is an ace, so is a new beginning, a fresh start. It can be as well about this energy of finally being able to, maybe it's almost felt like a burden to you, because you've been, obviously you like them, but they're in another connection, so you're at an impasse, yeah. So what with this new beginning, Spirit? So we see some kind of change, some kind of end of a cycle. The bond remains. We end the cycle connected. And like I say, this potentially is a spiritual connection of past life, soul connection. What will this new cycle bring, Spirit? Peacemaker, the Hierophant. Okay, so in order to sort of succeed in this, in the goal, I suppose, of what you want, Sarah, in being, of opening the pathway up to this connection, this union, the Hierophant is about being wise about this, okay, and taking your time. This is the Hierophant, and in this deck it's called the Peacemaker. And this is someone who, this is like when we look at, in a way, we refer to our mentors or people who, if you've got anyone to confide in as well, who you can ask advice even about how to navigate step by step with this, like a friend who is understanding about this and non-judgmental, a family member if possible. But if not, then it's about finding that inner Hierophant in ourselves, our wise higher self. And this is about basically not doing anything rash. It's about doing things. Things have a process. There are rules to this in many ways. Okay, so you are manifesting, which is great. And with manifesting, it is a discipline, okay, as well, about, if when we're manifesting, it's about showing up every day. It's about being patient. It's about trying to also embody whenever we can, how you want this relationship to go. And this is a card to remind you of that, okay? That in order to get where we want to be, we need to follow some certain rules, and there's no shortcuts, I think, is what the energy of this is saying as well. What I do want to have a look at is the energy of the current connection that he's in. So I think this is because it's Eagle, the Flyers, Totem of Pipes. I would say, because it was interesting, the wording that he used, is he locked in? So no, there is some, look how expansive this Eagle energy is, yeah? This is their energy, which is interesting, that's come through, that's almost like, I'm hearing the expression, like free as a bird. So there is the possibility for expansion. There is the possibility for change and developments, okay? So this is almost like the opposite of locked in, is what I see. So think that as well when you are manifesting, don't what's the word, like, don't don't give that kind of language energy as well of if they're locked in forever. Kind of replace it with that they're free as a bird, if that's helpful. Yeah, they can make choices. They're free as a bird to make the choices that they want to make and go where they want to go and be with who they want to be with, or whatever works for you, but something like that. Okay, so double down on your manifestations. This is, again, be patient, follow the rules being that we need to be consistent and show up every day and be disciplined with our thoughts and how we and the time that we give to manifesting, being intentional, showing up every day, for example. And then this does speak of this connection, that you are bonded in some way, and that potential past life connection. Let me know if you feel that too. And the potential for change happening here. Interesting read, interesting read. I feel like this is you, this is them, and this is the connection. So I hope that resonated for you. Let me know if it did, how it did, in the comments, Sarah. But thank you so much for your question. I look forward to reading for you again. Love and light. Hey Mbali, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for submitting your question. And this is a love connection reading. And I know that you're wanting to check in on your person. You're currently in no contact. And that he just went completely silent on you for no reason. So I'm really sorry to hear, firstly, that you're having to go through that. But let's get into it and see what Spirit has to say. So, what's going on with them, okay, with regards to this connection? Okay, so we have the Major Arcana, and it's the Lover's card, which in this deck is ecstasy. So this is about a very powerful connection here. This is about soulmate card, twin flame energy, karmic, love bond, all of that, okay? So I'm going to pull another card. Just to get more on this. Apprentice of Stones. Okay, so it makes sense to me now. So what I think, Mbali, is the bond is real, okay? So if you felt, I feel like there's intense feelings and love here, okay? On both sides. So when it was, and then maybe this speaks of the past of what you experienced, okay? That it was a beautiful thing when you were together and when it worked and it felt good and it was very powerful. But what comes in here is the Apprentice of Stones, and Stones is ruled by the element of earth. So in the traditional deck it's like pentacles, okay? And it's like that energy, that spark and explosive energy of the lovers, it's like it needs to be grounded. And you know, someone can love you very intensely, but if they're not able to ground this in the day-to-day and in the kind of practical of, you know, showing up for someone, building a life together, and that takes consistency and that takes a certain groundedness and a maturity in us, which I think is lacking at the moment anyway in your person. And that's why that this ended so abruptly, that they've just kind of fallen off the face of the earth, because they are lacking in this Apprentice of Stones energy. Can you see how grounded this person is? and there's a maturity here, and there's a practicality, and all that kind of, in a way, all that kind of boring stuff. But it's in that boring stuff, or in that hard work, in a way, that like real long lasting, that we are able to build long lasting bonds. And when we're kind of hit with big feelings as well, it can really shake people up as well. Like if they're not very stable in their shell, Mbali, okay, in their container, when they're hit with this big feelings and big love, it can bring up all kinds of craziness in someone, and make them act in erratic ways. Yeah, it's almost like they haven't got the maturity to handle what happened between you. Yeah. So what can we do, Spirit? Advice for Mbali. I know that you asked, should you reach out to him or should you wait for him? Let us know about, comment on that, please, Spirit. Reach out or wait? This is you, this beautiful High Priestess energy, the Seeker. You've got a lot to offer, Mbali, okay? So remember that. This beautiful girl here, okay, or woman, who, and the High Priestess is, it's your intuition, it's your strong bond to the intuition, and the High Priestess is a master at being able to see beyond, being able to see beyond the 3D, okay, being able to see on a deeper level to what's really going on, see beyond the veil is how I like to describe it. So in answer to your question, if you should reach out, what kind of feelings does that bring up in you? Do you feel tension in your body, or does it make you feel uplifted? When you think of waiting for him to reach out, how does your body or your intuition, your gut respond to that? There is a knowing that is already informing you there, particularly as you are the High Priestess energy, that you have access to your intuition, to this deeper level about knowing what the next step is in how to navigate this, okay? We need to look within. So they've shown some immaturity. You could reach out to them and see what they come back with. Do they present any kind of showings of being different, of having growth? That would be a risk to do that, okay? But it might be one that you need to take in order to know where you stand in moving forward. There's no shame in being the first person to reach out. Sometimes we just need to know, okay, in order to release this person to the past or be able to move this connection forward one way or the other, yeah? It's like we need to get some clarity. So maybe that's what resonates for you. Or it might be a stronger feeling. Sometimes it's right to hold off and say, no, they need to be the one to take the risk. They need to be, they need to be the one to make the move towards me. And that in turn will show some kind of maturity and growth maybe on their side. But really neither way is wrong. There is no wrong way or right way to do this, because both have benefits. And it really is about your intuition and tapping into your gut that already knows the answer to that, Mbali, and listen to your body and how it responds to each option. That's always a good way to check in and kind of be brutally honest with yourself if you feel like you know, your body will have a reaction, will feel tense at the thought of one thing and feel more relaxed in the thought of another thing, and go with the one that makes you feel more relaxed. So this is where they're at now. They're having some big feelings. They weren't able to cope with them. It needs to be grounded. This can change. This is what's happened up to this point. But that was your reading, Mbali, so I hope it resonated with you. Please let me know if it did, how it did in the comments, and please give me a thumbs up to help support the channel. But thank you so much for your question today, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hey Nat Nat, welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for your question and you asking for guidance for July. So let's get into it. I'm just going to pull the first card and see where that leads us on to the next question and getting the full picture of July for you. And what it has to bring, what you need to be focusing on. Six of Arrows. So Six of Arrows is a period of transition. Can you see this represents a gateway? And we are about to step over the threshold. So in July, you will be stepping over a threshold and things will begin to speed up. Can we see how in the next chapter in this, on the other side of this threshold, is it almost looks like a fast moving conveyor belt to me, but there's lots of energy here that is moving, propelling forward. And there's something here as well about leaving in the past some broken arrows, those broken arrows being disappointments, things that we tried and didn't work out. Yeah, those things that some old energy like dead wood is what I'm hearing. Broken arrows, you know, when we tried to take a shot and it didn't land. We need to leave that in the past now in order to make this transition. So focus on that, okay? Because I know that you did get the Eight of Cups as well, which is a similar kind of energy about leaving behind what no longer fulfills us, which no longer emotionally fulfilling. And that is in turn creates space and allows us to hold space for something that is better for us, that is more of what we want. If we just fill that space with and holding on to stuff that is not enough, then we're also blocking the stuff that is right for us and that is good for us. Now, you're also at a point, yeah, when you're kind of blinded by what's coming. There's only so much. We're almost working blind here and going on energies. We're going on intuition. And we're taking a leap of faith. And this is also about surrendering control. As I know you're a Virgo, Nat, as well. So as a Virgo, I'm Virgo as well. Like, we're just, as earth signs and being perfectionists and sort of caught up in the details a lot, it can be hard to surrender control because we want everything to be right, yeah? We want everything to work perfectly, which is a lovely quality and a wonderful quality. But sometimes when we're taking steps into the unknown, we need to surrender and just be carried. This energy is almost like a river. We need to be carried more by the river. Tell us more about what this transition will bring, Spirit. So we know we're going through a gateway in July for Nat. And that's fast moving energy on the other side of that gateway. Can you tell us any more about that? Oh, look at this. Oh, so happy to see this. Some loving, good energy. Someone who thinks of you. Look at that, how this is you, Nat, in the center of this person's heart. This is a very romantic card to me. It's so full of love, so full of emotion. Someone who feels deeply about you. And we are mirroring each other. We see these beautiful sunset in the background, these dolphins mirroring each other. This is someone who has deep feelings for you. So it may be a new person. It may be, because it is 6. Okay, this is, I have to put this out there. It can be someone from the past because it's 6 of, In the traditional deck, it's 6 of Cups, so there's 6 of Bowls, so it's like that nostalgic, someone from the past can be coming back around. But we're not holding on to who that, we're surrendering to who it is, okay? We're keeping an open mind, we're letting the river take us. What matters is that someone who deeply cares about us is showing up for us on the other side of this gateway. Any final messages, Spirit, for Nat? Positive reads continue for your Nat. I feel like it's always hitting with these readings at the moment, how they should. I hope you feel that too. Anything else, Spirit? Oof. Oh. The Lovers, and then the ecstasy comes. Nat. Wow. Like I say, these reads are hitting you. So we make the transition, but certainly things pick up speed, yeah? We make contact with someone who feels very deeply about us, and then we move into the Lover's energy, which says, it does exactly what it says on the tin, okay? This is like an explosion of feelings and love and emotions. This woman looks like she's been almost worshipped here by this man in the image. In love, fallen in love, yeah, the Lovers. So it could not be clearer message for you there, Nat. I hope this resonated. This was all for July. So there's a lot happening in July, yeah? So let me know, keep me posted. The 6 of Bowls, who this is, who this connection is. But I hope this reading resonated for you, Nat. Thank you so much for your question. Let me know in the comments if it did resonate, how it resonated. And give me a thumbs up just to help support the channel. But thank you so much as always for your questions, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hey Tej, welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for your question. So this is a love connection that we're looking at today. And I know you've had a lot of mixed messages, okay? Back and forth, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, that kind of energy from this person, blocking you, unblocking you. What's it all about, okay? So let's have a look. Spirit, please bring us some clarity for Tej regarding this situation. The Hermit. This is about gaining insight. This is about listening to our higher self. We'll dig into this deeper about how this correlates to your question. I almost feel like it, I will say this, start off, that it's saying, can you see how this person has they're like a wise person, yeah, like a representation of our higher self really come through. And they have their hands kind of outstretched. And it's kind of saying to you, don't really give too much energy to this person and their games in a way, because that's what this is at the end of the day, that they're kind of messing with you. And the why, we will dig into it to see if we can find out why more, but there's almost not to get too hooked up on the why. It's almost like it might not be that deep, like it might be that they're quite impulsive and that they are playing some kind of game which isn't fair on you, Tej. That's what I feel like. And I feel like that by, you could let this really get in your head and get under your skin. And we need to not allow that to happen, okay? So don't let this person get under your skin by doing that, because it is game playing. Oh, there we go, another one. The Tower moment, look at this, 2 major arcanas. Tell what resonates with this, okay? This can be you, this could be them. The Tower moment is something very disruptive happening in our lives. And this person may be a tower moment for you, Tage, okay? That they've got to you, they have pierced your shield. We see here, pierced shield. And they've got under your skin, yeah? And maybe it was a connection that you saw a future for, and that you had begun to think about the future and make plans, and that feel that there was a strong connection. And then things went awry, okay, and things didn't go to plan. And that was maybe very shocking and very disruptive to you, kind of derailed you in some ways, yeah? Now, the Tower moment, even though it can be very difficult when it happens and brutal in many respects, what it does do is that it does clear out what is not meant for us, okay? People, places, things. And it gives us a chance to reassess and to rebuild and go on a path that does align with us, okay? So that's something to reflect on for you as well, that there is some game playing, like I say, that is going on with this person. They have managed to get under your skin. Now we ask the question, do we want to continue to allow this to keep happening, or can we use this tower moment, you know, of having something that feels like a strong connection and it doesn't work out? Can we use this as an opportunity to rebuild and reflect and draw in something that is meant for us, okay? Because that messy energy from them is continuing. Anything else, Spirit? Final message here for Tage regarding this connection. Teaching Lodge of the Arrows. So this is about integrating the lessons that we've learned so far from this experience, okay? And allowing it to move us forward in life rather than keep us stuck. I know that I feel like this person has had a hold on you for a long time. And I do wonder now, can you see how this person has kind of stepped up away from these more, what almost look to be like more negative energies, and that this person hasn't showed up how you wanted them to. And I feel like we need to begin to you need to begin to put yourself first and connect to your higher self. And even if it doesn't mean that you can't be open even to allowing this person further down the line into your life if they show up as someone better, okay? But at the minute we need to, because their energy is messy and off, we need to put some boundaries here, Tage, okay? And start to protect ourselves, start put ourselves first, and look to people who are more available to us and not messing with our energy and derailing us, okay? So I hope that reading resonated with you. I hope that you are able to protect your energy moving forwards. But let me know in the comments if this resonated, how it resonated. Please do give me a thumbs up to help support the channel. But thank you so much for your question, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Love and light. Hey Eco7, welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for your question. So this is, you asked the question, what are the next steps I can take to align with my life purpose? Which is a big question. but I'm sure Spirit can handle it. So let's have a look. I'll just turn over the first card, see where Spirit takes us, and to lead on from there and see what questions it brings up, okay? So Spirit, what are next steps that Eco 7 can take to align with their life purpose, please? Ten of Stones. Look at this. This is you in your art, I believe, your creative work. And there's always something in this. So 10 of Stones, which is nice. This is a 10. So this is a very abundant card. It's the completion of a cycle that you've been on, Eco 7. So you're kind of closing in on ending a certain chapter, which feels like it's connected to the efforts and energies and input maybe that you've put into your creative work and your own business. Tell what resonates with that, okay? And this is about finding the right audience. Can you see how appreciative this person is of what you've produced, okay? So you've done a lot of the hard work, the most of the hard work. Now I feel it's almost like there's some kind of like releasing it to the universe and allowing the universe to then take this, as long as you keep promoting yourself, you know, showing up consistently like we've looked at in the past. This is about now finding the right audience. I'm going to ask more though. It's almost like finding your people. Tell us more, Spirit. Maybe being able to as well, the joy that is shared through connecting with people that appreciate what you do, you know, making sales, but making contacts of anyone who can help you with your work as well. And the kind of bringing the joy back into maybe after a period of very hard work and graft, and then being able to reap the benefits of it and just kind of enjoy the process a bit more. Tell us more, Spirit, though, about how this is connected to Eco's life purpose. Oh, lovely. Major Arcana, the Star. This is the ancestors coming through to guide us and show us the way. Oh, this is your life purpose. This is your path. So you may already know this, or you can tap into this more if you want, in a way to take next steps and make sure that you feel guided, is by tapping into ancestor energy, our higher selves, spirit guides. If you feel connected to that, Eco, if you have spirit guides just in the day-to-day, if you have images of how that is represented for you, this can be very helpful in the day-to-day of guiding us and being tapped into our higher self, because that will really keep us right. It's like a direct channel, yeah, to our life purpose and what we should do next, and guiding us. And the Star card is also about a wish come true. So is that wish, you know, again, connected to your business? I feel like your business and your creativity, your expression, and you being an artist is connected to your life purpose. So there's confirmation of that with that showing up, okay? A way to make that easier for yourself in the day-to-day is to be able to have the support and blessings and wisdom of the ancestors, or the grandfathers, as it says here. But whatever the universe, your higher self, whatever that is to you, that will keep you right. Anything else, Spirit, about... And then there's something about... I just say this, I know I keep sort of interrupting myself here. But about the joy, allowing the joy to come back into your artistic expression. And reap the rewards, you know, even financially, watching the money come in, watching the sales come in. The joy of that, yeah? But it's all about being appreciated and acknowledged, isn't it, as well? And being seen. Oof. Anything else, Spirit? For Eco 7, final message about their life purpose. Oh, look at this. 2 wonderful cards. Well, 3 wonderful cards. All positive. But this is another major arcana, okay? And this is the Wheel of Fortune. Or in this deck, it's called Harvest. And this is, like we touched on, really reaping the rewards, the benefits, the fun side, okay? After the graft, it's like the money comes in, the sales come in, the creative juices are flowing, you know? All of that good stuff in a way for the hard work that you have put in, Eco 7. But the Wheel of Fortune as well is also understanding about how divine timing and luck and fate kind of all has a hand in this as well. So allowing that, you know, maybe in lulls, or if things are not moving as fast as you would like. Trusting the process, trusting the universe has your back with this. Allowing inspired action to come through from your higher self if there's any tweaks or changes that you need to do. But this Wheel of Fortune, this harvest will come. So if you're having doubts, if it's not happening as in the sales and the money, or, you know, however doubts might manifest for you about your work being acknowledged and seen, it will happen, okay? It is on the cards for you. The harvest will come. But understand the Wheel of Fortune, the tides of faith, you know, the tide coming in and going out. There's always going to be lulls and then periods of busyness and abundance, okay, and allowing that. Yeah, but anyway, so what's coming for you is a harvest, which is awesome to see. But next steps in how you can align with your life purpose, I think with this Wheel of Fortune card, it's saying it's on its way, it's coming, success and the harvest, but also that trusting in the Wheel of Fortune, the luck, the fate that has a hand in this, in your life path, yeah. So I hope that resonated. Very positive reading, very positive reading. What I would say is that you are on the right, you are aligned with your life purpose, is what I would say from this. It's given us a few tweaks and advice to say how to stay on that, giving us insight into what's going on for you. But I would say that you are on the right track here, Eco 7, and on your life purpose path. So I hope you feel that, I hope that resonates for you. Let me know in the comments if it did resonate, and if so, how. Please drop me a like to support the channel. But thank you so much for choosing me to be your reader, and hopefully I will catch up with you again soon. Love and light.